What's going on, fight fans? I go by the name of Barak.
And I'm Barak the Boxing Bully.
And this is All the Smoke Fight here live from Las Vegas for Canelo, Crawford. This is one of 2 days. We'll be back tomorrow live. So many big names in the building. Barak, I mean, it's been a while since I've been in Vegas for a fight of this magnitude. And then again, I don't think I've been here for a fight of this magnitude.
No, we have not. We've been to certain fights where it might be more people, might be a similar buzz, but this right here means everything to the sport. Whoever wins this fight is king. So with us knowing that, no one's really talking about the undercard, even though some guys on there I really want to see. We're just talking about who's going to be king Saturday night.
Look, you know, the talk when this fight was first announced was Bud moving up 2 weight classes. And then also even Canelo Alvarez, when he was first asked about this fight, he was saying, I won't get credit for this fight. This guy's moving up in weight class. As the weeks have gone on, and you see Canelo training, you see who he's bringing up into sparring, guys like Boots Ennis, I don't think he no longer he doesn't feel that way anymore. He feels like I'm fighting a credible opponent that's going to be coming in on fight night, my weight, and this is a threat.
I think he feels that way, but I think it was the $100 million.
No, I'm not talking about taking the fight. I'm just talking about how he felt about the matchup.
No, well, one thing he said, all right, he did, what he's saying is true. If he wins, people are going to say he beat a smaller guy. That's just what's going to happen. But he already knows how special Crawford is. He said that so many times.
Yeah, but it almost seems like now he actually has something to prove because people are questioning the fight. And we have Mr. Dana White.
Put that mic down. Give it to him.
What's going on? Likewise.
We want you right here, brother.
Yeah,
Good to see you. Thank you.
So, this is a live show.
This is my good ear, too. If you put me over there, I wouldn't hear anything.
Look, Dana, obviously, massive fight week, right? Where does this fight compare into big UFC fights? Like, what fight could you think of that had this energy?
Well, it's hard. It's up there with McGregor versus Habib.
Wow.
You know, there's so many fights that you compare it to. But in the sport of boxing, I mean, this is, I call it once in a lifetime because this is the kind of fight as a fight fan that you dream about. You got a guy, right, in Crawford, who's looked at as the greatest ever in his division, right? He could stay in his lane, fight the rest of his career, make a bunch of money, and be looked at as the greatest, you know, in his weight division and one of the greatest in boxing. No, what he wants to do is jump up 2 weight classes and take on the monster Canelo, you know, who's obviously going to already go down as one of the greatest of all time, one of the greatest Mexican fighters of all time. And this is the type of stuff that I love as a fight fan. That's why when Sheikh Turkey asked me to promote this fight, I'm not looking to jump into any of these big. But I have a plan in 26 for what I want to do in the sport of boxing. But you don't say no to this fight either.
Were you a little nervous?
Canelo versus Crawford?
Were you a little nervous? Like, I know you're a confident man. You always what you've done in the UFC obviously speaks for itself. But did you say like, damn, like, do I want to do this? You didn't hesitate.
I said, oh, hell yes, I'll promote that fight.
You've done big shows before.
Right.
All right, so
listen, I've been criticizing boxing for 30 years, right? And when I built the UFC, I took the things that I loved from boxing and I took the things that I hated from boxing. And that's how I sort of built not just the live event, but just the philosophy and the mindset of the sport. And this is everything that I love about boxing. So the only thing for me to do was to come in and build an incredible undercard where the first fight of the night matters as much as the main event. You know what I mean? Every fight, when you sell a fight, or as a fight fan when you want to watch a fight, it's always about what's at stake. What's at stake here? And when you break down all the things that are at stake in this main event is what makes this such a great fight. And if Crawford can beat Canelo, I mean, this guy over here just said it right too. The guy that I just did an interview, he was saying this will change the sport of boxing. This fight,
it would.
If Crawford beats Canelo, or if Canelo beats Crawford, everybody will be buzzing. And then it's about that fight really meant something what's next,
And
right? What's next?
Not only that, you mentioned the undercard, right? Even though the fighters might not be household names, but what's at stake for them is all the eyeballs watching. This is a chance to prove to the world that I belong at this level, and guys are going to fight harder because of that.
And guess what? There's a bunch of undefeated guys facing undefeated guys. That's the thing. Everybody in boxing is undefeated. You know what I mean? It's like everybody's undefeated. In the UFC, if you're a world champion and you're undefeated, that actually really means something. You went through the gauntlet of the baddest dudes in the world to become a world champion, right? There are very few people who are undefeated, and everybody talks smack when I talk. John Jones is still undefeated.
He's undefeated. To me, he's undefeated.
Is he
everybody.
Is he your GOAT?
He is undefeated, not just to you, to everybody. Nobody's ever beat John Jones.
No one's beat him, no.
Ever.
But is he your GOAT?
Yes, he's the GOAT.
In boxing, who's your GOAT?
And if you don't think he's the GOAT,
No,
you know
100
nothing
No,
about
no, no.
fighting.
He's
You know
definitely
nothing
the
about
GOAT
fighting.
in my eyes.
But who in boxing, who's your GOAT?
That's so hard to because when you think about all the greats that have fought and faced each other, the guy that I love and not just for what he did in fighting, but for what he did with humanity and what he stood up for and what he stood for at the time. You know
what you're talking about. Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali.
Not just in my office. There's rooms dedicated to him. There's pictures of him everywhere.
Wow.
But even in my house, there are pictures of Muhammad
Have
Ali
you got
in
a
my
chance
house.
to interact with him? Did you get a chance to ever interact with Ali?
I never did.
Never met him?
Never met him.
Wow.
Never met him. But he is and I love Mike Tyson. And realistically, this is the way that I look at combat sports as a whole. When you come to UFC headquarters, there's a Mike Tyson conference room. There's a Muhammad Ali. There's a Ramon Deckers, who is the greatest Muay Thai fighter. Like everybody who gave something and elevated combat sports has a room at the UFC.
Amazing.
That's
You said earlier, you couldn't pass this fight up, but you have a plan. What is that plan?
Well, I have a plan in 26.
Yes.
I'm going to be launching my own boxing series in 26.
So this is not TKO. It's just something different.
No, it's TKO.
No, that's
TKO.
what it is, yeah.
TKO. Shake Turkey's involved, but this thing keeps evolving every day. I'm getting dragged in deeper and deeper and deeper than I planned on being.
And faster.
And faster, yes.
And with Turkey, it's like everything can be last minute, but because there's enough money and enough resources, it can get done. But
you have to understand this about me. Everybody thinks the opposite, but none of these people know me.
Right.
I don't do anything for money.
Right.
I don't do anything for money.
Right.
If you do what you love to do and you do what you believe in, money is just what happens. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And there's so much more to this for me. I've been talking smack about boxing forever. The production means a lot to me. Like the people that show up on Saturday night, whether it's at UFC Noche in San Antonio or the Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, I don't want anybody to walk out and go, I wish I didn't spend my money to come do this. I wish I didn't waste my Saturday night. I wish I did something else.
Right.
Ever. Every Saturday. I go pretty much every Saturday in UFC.
Right.
And I don't ever want somebody to turn the TV off and say that about my product.
And it's not only people watching at home, right? Do you care about the experience in the venue, in the arena?
More than television.
Right.
I already know.
Right.
I guarantee you, sitting right here, right now, the people that sit home are going to get a good experience on Saturday night, production-wise.
Right.
I can't guarantee you the fights are going to be the greatest fights you've ever seen.
Right.
That's up to the fighters, right? But the live experience is a very big deal to me because they spent more money than anybody.
Right.
Plane tickets, the tickets to the fight. They got to pay for dinners, and they're going to gamble and all. I want them to leave with one of the greatest experiences they've ever had.
So you're heavily involved in the production.
I'm all in on production. It's a big, big deal to me. But I also care about the people that are watching it in the bar that didn't pay jack shit for the fight.
Cover charge, maybe $10.
I want them to also walk away going, damn, I'm glad I went to the bar and watched this. Because you have three types of fans. You got the fan who's buying it on TV and he's inviting everybody over to the house to get pizza and alcohol and whatever, right? Then you got the guy that's like, I got to be there. I'm flying out to Vegas.
That's
or
also
wherever it
me.
is. I'm going to the event. Then you got the guy like, I'm going out tonight, but I got to find a bar that's showing the fight.
Right.
Those are your three customers.
But I got to ask you, Dana, because there's, Turkey has gone out and said, I want to get rid of the pay-per-view model, at the zone. And obviously, you've been in that business for a while. Could we ever get, as combat sport fans, to the point, even UFC fights, big boxing matches, where fans never have to pay pay-per-view again?
Think about what's happening right now.
Right.
We're going to Paramount and CBS.
Right.
Turkey's obviously, and if you look at what Netflix is doing, right? Right. I had this dream. It was a fantasy at one time where I would build the sport to a point where there was only one channel. Now, I'm 57 years old, you guys. When I grew up, we had Channel 3, Channel 5, Channel 8, Channel 13. When I was in high school, cable came up and we had like 33 channels, right?
Right.
And HBO was one of them. And now with streaming, what these streaming services are starting to realize, and I thought it would happen sooner than later, Mobland, which is a great show, right?
Great show.
Yeah.
I can watch that anytime I want. I can watch it tonight or I can watch it 2 years from now. It's always going to be there. Right. Live sports is destination television. If it's on at 8 o'clock, you got to be sitting on the couch at 8 o'clock to watch this fight or Super Bowl or whatever it might be. And they're starting to get that now. So now that streaming services are coming in, we're getting closer and closer to my dream, my fantasy, where the whole world can watch. Because I believe when you have the right fight in the right place at the right time, the world wants to watch. Because I also have another belief that care what color you are, what language you speak, or what country you come from, we're all humans. Fighting's in our DNA. We get it and we like it.
Yes.
And if that fight that spills over, the whole world will watch. And when you think about the ceiling for fighting, there's 8 billion people on Earth, right?
Yes.
Now, when we get away from the pay-per-view model, if you look at how successful boxing and UFC has been, right? Now there's no barrier to entry, right? Netflix, if you don't have Netflix already, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean? If you want to see the fight, you should already have Netflix.
Well, 300 million people have Netflix, so we're good on that.
We're missing a lot. We're missing a few billion.
Get with the program. You should already be on Netflix. If you don't have Netflix, there's something wrong with you already.
But can we reach your dream and still pay these fighters what they want to be paid? That's the dilemma, right?
We just did a $7.7 billion deal. Right. Yeah, people are going to get paid.
Somebody's getting paid.
What I want to bring, there's a lot of mythology about the pay structure and all this stuff. The guys at the UFC, the structure was always eat what you kill, right? What happened in boxing is like, I just made $35 million. I want $45 million for my next fight. Why? How does that make sense? Right. Well, it might not make sense. That's just what I want, right? I mean, that's what started to happen. Right. And the crazy thing about the fight business is you always have some rich guys that get involved that are willing, because it's a sexy sport, man. Right, it's fun. It's something that everybody wants to be a part of. What I'm going to bring to boxing is, for instance, I have a show called the Contender Series, where unsigned fighters to the UFC, two of the best guys in the world that don't have contracts with the UFC, they come in and they fight. One time, show me who you are. Here we go. There are guys that have come off the Contender that have made millions and millions of dollars already. Right. Now in boxing, they're like, oh, these guys made this much money. Yeah, 6 guys make that kind of money. There's tens of thousands of fighters out there that fight for nothing, like $100 a round. Right. I'm going to bring money to not only the big guys, but all those other guys that
all right, hold on. Before you get out of here, because we've been talking for a little while, congratulations on this new venture that you're doing. I know it's a dream of yours to come into boxing, so congratulations. Also, it seems like Turkey is able to work with Jake Paul now. They squash whatever beef they had. Do you see that in your future, a day that Dana White and Jake Paul can work together?
Here's the thing with me. I believe that there's always going to be a place for those type of fights, right? If like Ocho Cinco's over there telling me he wants to fight, Harrison. That seems like a really bad idea to me, but whatever. And there will always be an interest in those type of fights happening. That's not what I do. What I do is I want to see who's the best in the world. Right. And listen, if Jake Paul gets to a point where
he's a legitimate promoter, though. He has promoted real boxing matches. The biggest female fight that happened this year, with Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. You got to give him that. Give him that one. Give him that one.
are you
Can we give Jake Paul that?
Those type of fights.
Can we give Jake Paul that
That
one?
is
Hold
not
on,
what
hold
I'm
Can
into.
how you saying hold up? I'm talking to him.
ahead.
Can we just give him that though? He's doing his thing as a promoter. He's helping women's boxing.
Okay. So I'm not into those type of fights, but those
Women
fights will
fights?
always exist.
Right.
No, I'm talking about the
Come on, Jake,
the YouTuber fights and all that stuff. And that listen, that guy's going to make money doing his thing. Good for him. I mean, he's going to fight a guy that's they're talking about. If you look at, he just fought a 60-year-old guy that had trouble walking to the ring. Right now, he's going to fight a guy that's 130 pounds and like 4 inches shorter than Floyd.
Exhibition,
You know what I mean?
Tank.
And no disrespect to Tank. He's a real guy. I was thinking, I was talking about Tank in the launch for the stuff that I wanted to do.
Really?
Yeah, no, I'm a Tank fan.
Okay.
But that fight's ridiculous. Let's be honest. I mean, you got a guy that's as big as Jake is facing a guy that's as big as Tank is. It's absolutely.
I guess it's considered exhibition, and a lot of people will watch it. But I
But
I
if
get
you
your
even
point.
look at Logan, who I like a lot, when he fought Floyd Mayweather, you throw a couple jabs and you tie Floyd up.
Yeah.
And even though Floyd hit him with a bomb one time
Right.
in that fight, he hit him with like an overhand right bomb, and it didn't even
did
shake.
nothing. It did
Logan.
nothing
Logan
to
just
him.
grabbed
Too big.
onto him, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My point is there will always be a place for those type of fights. That's not what I do or what I ever want to do.
So what's the first thing that's most important to you to change in the sport? Because you love boxing. You've always said that you're a huge boxing fan, but you don't like what people have done with it. But what's the main thing that you want to change in 2026?
Well, I'm going to change the first fight of the night. You'll want to see just as bad as the last fight of the night. I want to build the card. That's what this undercard is.
right.
For those of you that are watching, don't just show up
Right.
for Crawford versus Canelo. The fights that are on this undercard are incredible. So you're going to see them, right? The co-main event, the main event, the whole card is stacked. I want to bring that to boxing.
Right.
And there's guys out there talking shit about, what's he going to bring that everybody hasn't done already?
So you listen to that noise.
I'm going to bring that. You're going to see undefeated guys fighting each other on the undercard and working their way up. There won't be 6 different sanctioning organizations that, have all these different guys ranked number 1, but none of those number 1 guys will fight each other.
yeah.
All that crap is going to go away with me.
Do you ever respond to the social media hate?
Huh?
Do you ever respond to any social media hate?
I love it.
You love it?
I love all of it. Keep it coming. Bring all the hate to me. It's my favorite thing in the world. So yeah, don't stop.
It drives you, I could tell. Before you
love
get out
it.
of here, because they're rushing us, I've been asking every guest this. If Bud Crawford beats Canelo convincingly on Saturday night, would you put him above Floyd Mayweather on the greatest of all time list?
That's tough to say. I think what happens in that case, if he wins and beats Canelo,
Convincingly.
yeah, if he
Right.
knocks him out.
Right.
I mean, if he
Right.
knocks him out, whatever he does,
Right.
you have to see how the rest of Crawford's career plays out.
But he's done so much. 3-time
agree.
undisputed.
He's 38
what
years
else
old.
Is he
This
gonna
might
do?
be the
What's
last.
next?
Yeah.
And when it's looking like he's going to wrap up his career,
Right.
like Floyd wrapped up his career,
Right.
then you
you go and
statistically
say-
lay it out and you say,
that makes
Crawford.
sense.
Yeah.
He'll be
might
in the
the
conversation,
greatest
though.
of all time.
Maybe
100%.
so. What's the hardest part of
It's
your
what
job?
I love about this fight, and it's what I love about Crawford. And when you meet Crawford, I've had a blast with him. He's
he's
a
our
great
guy.
guy.
Great guy. He
He's
is.
a mean motherfucker.
In that
okay,
ring.
this dude is mean, and he's so talented. The way he fights, switches up. It's just.
He's special.
If you are even remotely a fight fan, you're insane if you don't watch this fight. And you're insane if you don't already have Netflix. Get Netflix. It's cheap. There's no barrier to entry to this fight.
Stop
It's
using
a
your
one-
cousin's Netflix. All right, get
yeah,
your own.
Exactly. It's a once-in-a-lifetime
And
fight.
watch the Countdown show on Netflix.
And watch the undercard.
We're all on that. So
But listen, last question. What is the hardest part of this job for you?
that's a good question.
That's a hard question. I love every minute of this. I love everything about it. It's almost like my old partner, Lorenzo Fertitta, used to tell me all the time, you were born to do this. This is what you were put on this earth to do.
Yeah.
There isn't too much that I hate about it.
Wow. That's good to hear.
So much that
That's
you
good to
asking
hear.
me, I can't even say off
No,
the
I
top of
feel
my
you.
head.
I feel you. That's
Well,
beautiful.
listen, Dana
Thanks for
White,
having me, boys.
look, I like the
Likewise.
fact that you entering in the sport of boxing, a sport that we love. I can't wait to see what's next in 2026.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right,
All
man.
right. Let's get a little quick. still live, folks. We're still live. Oh, we got our guy. Do you want me to sit back over there? You want to get Brian over here?
Oh,
Okay,
man.
sit back over here.
Oh, yeah, I can Barak. Let's go.
Brian Campbell, folks.
Listen, I mean, Brian, you've been a part of a lot of boxing matches,
Yes.
right? Like, none this big, right? I imagine.
No, no, none this big. Look, I've been like jealous of these Anthony Joshua, Great Britain, 80,000, 90,000 soccer
90,000,
stadiums, because
exactly.
it's a cultural event.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't really matter. It's like if you were at WrestleMania 3 when Hogan slammed Andre, you're going to be like, yeah, they were this big. No, you're going to be like, I was there.
I was there.
I want that for American boxing. I feel like American boxing hasn't had the best year in that regard. So this feels like big fight, right place, right time, right network, right location, and then to hear Max Kellerman say things like, you know, this might end up being the most watched boxing match since like Ali Spinks 2
But it
in
should
1978. You're like, wait, you're right. It might actually end up being.
It should. And in reality, this is our like Sugar Ray Leonard Hearns or Sugar Ray Leonard Hagler.
Let's go.
Because who actually wins, I was saying this earlier, who actually wins, the era belongs to them.
Those are the best fights too. Mayweather-Pacquiao had that. It was
Yeah.
like number 1 and 2 pound for pound, number
Right.
1 and 2 in the welterweight division, number 1 and 2 of that specific era. And really, Canelo has been the flag bearer in the post-Mayweather-Pacquiao era. Although Manny would like to remind us that that era has not ended yet.
But you know, I'm glad you brought that up because even though they were fairly similar in age, right? When Manny fought Floyd, it seems like these two fighters are different type of fighters, meaning the level of aggression that they give you in the ring,
Yes.
what the anticipation on what's going to happen in that ring. We didn't think Floyd was going to hurt Manny, right, at all. And we knew that Manny was going to barely touch Floyd in the fight. This is different.
This is different because of my favorite term ever, daring to be great nature here of Terrence Crawford.
Yes.
Like, who is at this point in his career, at this age, with an unbeaten record that normally people are trying to protect under the idea of, like, how much further can I be remembered in history? He's like, hold on, I'm going to double down, move up effectively 3 weight classes, challenge the biggest star of the era, who's still like a top 6 pound for pound guy, and for my money still has it at age 35. I think people trying to act like the hunger isn't there if it needs to be.
From Canelo?
From Canelo is like, do that at
Nonsense.
your own peril.
Right.
But yet Bud is taking on all of the, I mean, I don't want to say all the pressure. I feel like there's more pressure on Canelo to win this. But Bud is like, he's always been about that. He's not been about the money. He's been about the legacy. It is true, and this fight is only happening because the statement is true. If anyone can do this and pull this off, it is Bud. And that is the kind of thing we've said about who? Manny Pacquiao when he rose up to win titles in 8 divisions.
Yes.
Sugar Ray Leonard when he came out of retirement, moved up and beat Marvin Hagler.
fight
Roy
Hagler.
Jones when he
Right.
fought John Ruiz for the heavyweight title. There are these
Exactly.
rare aliens, these one-of-ones that you're like, I don't actually know if Terrence Crawford can do this, but the one thing I do know is that nobody else but him would be willing to try or could pull it off.
Look, we haven't talked about the outcome, right? And I don't want to put you on the spot at predictions, but I'll ask you this.
I love being in all the spots.
Whoa.
I want all the smoke, okay?
On all the spots.
Brian, if this fight, does this fight have the potential to be a super classic competitive fight that we might see it another 2 times, like a trilogy?
You know, it's weird. I haven't thought about that.
Yeah.
No one's even mentioning that.
Yeah.
He
I've
brought
been
this up,
mentioning
and
it all
it,
day.
it boggled me. I was like, "You're absolutely right."
Well, there is
we
part
might,
of-
we might see that.
I mean, to be honest, there's part of my brain that's wondering if Terrence can pull off the upset. Does he say, hey, Canelo, sit this one out. I've got Benavidez next, which is just
Oh,
like,
no,
no
that's not
way,
happening.
no way,
no
way,
way,
think
no way,
about,
no way,
but,
no way.
like,
No way.
I mean, that's no. I mean, it could be. Obviously, some things have to happen, right? Crawford's got to be more successful than our natural boxing brain should tell you he should. And obviously look, I mean, I don't know if the size difference will be that much of a difference. Crawford's taller. He's got like a 4-inch reach advantage.
right.
He kind of looks the same size when they stand up against one another.
Canelo's not a 168-pound fighter.
No.
He's a
Benavidez is, you know,
For
and
sure.
that's why Crawford is not going to fight a 168-pound fighter, but he's fighting Canelo because he's just special. He moved up to 168.
That's why the Leonard Hagler comparisons work so well
It
for
works
this
well,
fight in that
exactly.
regard.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, look, if it's a great fight,
Right.
You think Turkey wants to see it again? Of course. When Conor Benn and Chris Eubank had that great fight, Turkey said, no, we're seeing that again next.
But Terrence at 38, could he say, all right, let's say if he wins, okay, I'm going to fight you at 39
It
or
depends
or
on how he
38 and a
looks.
half?
What if he looks phenomenal and
No, it's
there's
not
a
about
crack
that.
in
It's
his
about,
armor?
it's about he's 38. He probably doesn't want to do camp 2 more times,
For no-
or
for-
maybe at
I
least
don't
one
know,
more
maybe
time.
for 100 million?
Isn't it weird though that Butler turned 38 at the end of the month?
Yes.
Yet we're not worried about his age.
Right.
More people are
That's
worried about
true.
Canelo's age because of the mileage, the 20,
20
years as
years.
a pro.
Yes.
Turned pro at 15. Bennins. I mean, for him to do what he did to Triple G in the rematch,
Yes.
he had to be willing to go through hell, and he did it.
Yes.
And it's not only the fights, Brian, it's the training camps, right, of
Yes.
all of these years. And look, Bud doesn't abuse it. It's no secret. He doesn't drink alcohol. He doesn't really party. He trains and he spends time with his kids. So he's not your average 38-year-old fighter, right?
Sure.
So I'm with Brian. I'm not worried about his age, right? But
I'm just saying, in his mind, he might say, I don't want to do this again. Nobody's even saying he's out of his prime and he's 38.
no, that's my point.
No one's saying that.
Well, I like
because
that
he's
there was that
good.
video where Turkey went up to him on the Stairmaster and was like, "Don't retire, don't retire." I'm starting to believe that he won't retire because what I've gotten from Terrence Crawford this week is that while we're all talking about the size difference between the two of them, we're not talking about the size difference of the can of Pringles on his shoulder. You know what I'm saying?
Not only that,
he is where he's at. Like that Spence fight, he could have retired and been a superstar for the rest of his life. Remember that time he beat Spence? And instead, he's still trying to prove himself to us.
Yes.
Because remember, he was on the wrong side of the street politically for the prime of his career. It's not that he didn't beat anybody, but he didn't have the opportunity to beat all the legends that he could have.
You just
Could've beat
reminded
them
me of
earlier.
something. Barack, what did he say on our show? He just reminded me of something, right? Because we're talking about him retiring, right? And obviously, if the fight is entertaining, there'll be probably a big pot of money at the end of that. But he did say to us, how about I go back down to 154 and become undisputed in a 4th weight class? He said that to us.
He did, but it's going to be hard to lose
No, but-
14 pounds now. At
we
38 years, it's
learned
going
that
to be
from
hard.
Roy.
to-
Yeah, we learned that
That
from Roy.
part is hard.
But that
Yeah.
Roy went
He
from
can do
heavyweight
anything
to light
but coming
heavyweight.
back.
That's one weight
coming
class,
back down,
bro.
he was struggling to make 147. He was struggling more than what Spence probably was.
I'm just saying, a dream. You know
No,
what I mean?
I spoke to him on the phone. I spoke to him on the phone, and I was like, after the Majimov fight, I say, why don't you try and become undisputed at 154? None of the names made him happy. None of the
At that point,
he needs
but
names.
you know who's in that division now? Virgil Ortiz Jr., Boots Ennis. Like it's starting to get hot, really hot.
Now that you say that,
He wants legendary,
I'd rather him,
What,
if he wins
retire?
on Saturday night, just sail off to the sunset,
Okay, but
bro.
what about this? I don't like the reports are what they are because no one knows the truth. The reports are that Canelo's making 100 to 150 million
Right,
for this fight,
right.
and that Bud is making just 10. I say
No,
just
no, that's
like,
not true.
I know there's more, but like
Way more.
At least 50.
At least 50.
At least
Okay,
50.
okay,
Yeah,
set me
yeah,
straight.
at
then.
least
I'm
50.
just wondering.
He
At
said
least
that on
50.
our show jokingly. That's why. That's
Oh,
when
no,
it
that was
spread. The
that
rumor.
was a joke.
That was a joke.
That's crazy.
I fall for rumors online all the time. I want you to know that. But what I'm really trying
I'm a
to
billionaire, by the way.
Well,
if you heard that.
I have
don't know
heard
if you
that.
heard that.
The billionaire bully. I've heard that. But like, do we? Even though he's not motivated by the money as the first thing, obviously he's a prize fighter. That's what they do. I wonder if part of him is like enjoying the fact that his name is on the marquee at Allegiant Stadium for this, and if he gets the win or looks really good in defeat. Maybe he's like, if I can get an opportunity in this Turkey era that we don't know how long it's going to last, but it's super fun for these fighters.
Right.
Maybe you can get another one of those where my grandkids are going to be going to college for free. You know
great
what I mean?
Think about that.
And he's got what, 8 kids or one on the way?
He got
Like,
seven. He got 7 kids. Wow, 7 kids. But look, I think he cares about right now is money and legacy.
Yeah.
Right.
Certain names won't help his legacy. Boots is great. That's great for us.
Right.
We would love that. But because he's not a star yet. He's not a legend yet. It wouldn't make sense for Bud. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Virgil Ortiz wouldn't make sense for Bud. That's why he's going for the Canelo. I told him,
Very true.
why don't you fight Charlo? He was like, no, because Charlo didn't fight good against Canelo. I'm like, dang. So he needs a name that really gets him up.
Legends. He only
That's
wanna-
all it
he
is.
only
I wonder
wants
if
to
it
fight
becomes Boots because now we find out that Boots called Canelo and said, "Hey, I can spar
Oh,
with you."
we would, of course, we would love that.
No, but what about this? Look, Canelo is champion, undisputed champion. Obviously, I'm assuming there's a rematch clause. If Canelo should lose, maybe Bud has to fight Canelo again.
I mean,
And
what's stopping him from retiring?
no, I get
Right?
that, but 100 million. Maybe if he wins, he's making 50, 100.
But once you make 100, are you really starving for another
If
100?
you make 100,000, wouldn't you want another 100?
That's different. 100,000 doesn't change your life. 100 million.
There's a different tax bracket, man. It's a different.
We can't relate to
No.
that
I
conversation.
mean, maybe
Change the
Barak
subject.
can. I mean, he's
Yeah,
had some
right.
great moments in his life throughout
Yeah.
the years. You know, I followed him on Instagram. Okay,
Close,
You know
but
what I
not
mean?
that.
No, man. I mean, look, obviously, I think money is going to drive these fighters to some degree. And
At this age, if you notice, they care a lot about the money.
and Bud has
Canelo
told us
cares a
he
lot
wants
about
to
the
be
money.
a billionaire. He said, like, that's one of my dreams. So another fight with another 100 million at stake, I mean,
Get
it's
him that
right.
much closer.
It'll get
I
him
don't
that
mean to
much
interview
closer.
you guys on your own show.
What's up? Bring it.
Are you buying this? The fire isn't what it used to be in Canelo.
No.
Like
Hell no.
I think more he's just been coasting because he's been forcing these guys once he knocks them down to stop trying. So he's just sort of like, all right, I guess we're going the distance.
Yeah.
But like, we saw the abs when he pulled the shirt up. Like,
Yeah. No, I
Big Red's
think
still Big
it's the
Red,
level
where
of
I come from.
opponent. I agree with you. I don't think he. I mean, I think this fight brought it out of him. It's bringing it out of him. Obviously, bringing Boots to camp. He hears the noise of people who are saying, "Oh, Bud is going to beat Canelo, or Bud is a better boxer than Canelo." You don't think that bothers Canelo Alvarez? You don't think we're going to see one of the best versions of him on Saturday night? You're mistaken. So I don't think the hunger is gone. Not by any means.
He's just like Bud. He's very competitive.
Yes.
He wants to win. He wants to be the best. I think he feels like those last couple of guys he fought didn't really rile him up.
exactly.
It didn't really rile him up like Triple G riled
Sure.
him up. There were certain fighters that riled him up. Going up to 168 originally riled him up because he knows he didn't really belong there. No other 154 guy is going up to 168 and dominating 3 undefeated fighters.
Fair point.
That's not happening. So certain things that riled him up, get him to where he's going to be in great shape. He's going to go hard. You got to get him there. Terrence got him there.
All right. Well, I got to ask you guys because you guys are like celebrity gentlemen. You got a cool
Stop
factor.
with
You know,
this,
you're
man.
like
Stop.
jacked and stuff.
Keep going, but
Canelo's
stop.
got, you know, he's added tattoos over the years, but one of them is his beautiful wife's eyes on his forearm,
yeah.
which means she's going to be able to see everything that he's like. Is that like true love, or is that a little bit too far for you guys?
No, I don't think it's too far.
I'm just not into tattoos, but I love it. I love love. I love love
Okay.
between two people.
Okay.
I love that. You know, so if that's how that's how he shows it, that's great.
I mean,
that's great. Especially when I feel like he's devoting so much time to boxing throughout these years that they've been married. He's given her that, and maybe that helps. It's hard. It's hard being in training camp 2 times a year, which is months.
Yes.
You know, and training, and you're taken away from your family. That's hard.
We talk about, you know, Bud possibly retiring if he has a big win over Canelo, but what if Canelo wins big? I mean, what about he's accomplished so much, right? One of the best resumes, definitely the best resume in active boxers today.
No doubt.
Like
One of the best resumes of all time.
Right, of all
Like
time.
he's breaking my heart with the Benavidez thing, but I have so much
See,
respect.
I
I have so much respect for who he is and what he's
Right.
accomplished.
See,
you know?
I'm on the other side of that. I don't think he needs to fight Benavidez to prove anything, right? But are we
Would've been
okay
nice.
with us seeing Canelo for the very last time on Saturday night?
No, we're not, because I don't believe it. I think there's hunger in him to finish the story, not to steal from Cody Rhodes there. And I think to him, the unfinished business is the undisputed light heavyweight championship at Dimitri Bivol. And one thing I will say about Canelo, even though I felt like he clearly lost that fight, and maybe the scorecard 7-5 across the board were closer than they needed to be. Yeah. I feel like he has never stopped bringing up Bivol's name as like, what are your goals you still want to accomplish? He has only lost to 2 of the greatest fighters of like this century, right?
Right.
Bivol snuck up on us from that regard, but
he
he's
definitely
the
did.
truth in that regard. I wonder if that is like the last remaining thing that he's got the one light heavyweight title against Kovalev, but in this era of
I don't think he wants that.
undisputed,
I don't think he wants that. I think he realized that's too much. That's too big for me. I shouldn't have to do that at this particular age. I think a younger Canelo would have done that.
Okay, but that was the 4. I don't mean to cling to these conspiracies,
go
but
ahead,
that was
go
the
ahead.
4-fight stretch where he had the injured wrist. He knew he
It
needed
was something
surgery.
a little different, right?
He knew he couldn't train at 100%, but he also knew he could kind of coast and beat these guys, and maybe
Right.
that's why John Ryder went the distance. Maybe that's why the third Triple G fight wasn't as exciting as the first 2.
Even though he was dropping these guys, nobody drops Triple G. But even though he was dropping these guys, he still had power. But I get it. And yes, he was a little bit different in the Bivol fight. I just don't like to take credit away from Bivol.
For sure.
Yeah.
You know.
I
But
didn't-
I thought something was there.
Yeah.
He doesn't like to make excuses.
Because when he came back against Charlo, he looked like Canelo of old. All
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
I guess
He did.
we'll see Saturday night the hopefully the best version of Canelo that we've seen in a long time. Maybe
Let's
that
go.
second Triple G Canelo
Do you
type
guys
of
still
fight.
get that feeling? Like,
Are you
like
kidding
I'm
me?
shadow boxing the
Of
hallway when I hear a
course.
fight
What?
get announced.
All right, listen, we're about to wrap the show.
Ain't nobody want to see me shadow box, but I'll do it.
Brian, before we get out of here, obviously Mount Rushmore is something so important
Yes.
to Bud, right? There's no question if he wins Saturday night, he has to be on Mount Rushmore, if there's one.
So that's, I think, is the most interesting question outside of like, can he take Canelo's power and what will this fight look like?
Yes.
What the hell do we do with Bud Crawford if he wins this fight? Seriously, it's like he snuck up on us, meaning that once he got the Spence win and once he did it so dominantly, it's like, oh yeah, he really was everything we thought he was and more. Give him his flowers. But the idea of like, is he top 5 or top 10 pound for pound all time? Is he on your Mount Rushmore? When he potentially will have a resume that is 5 division champion, 3 times undisputed in the 4-belt era, and he went through unbeaten Spence and a Canelo that still had it when he was like 36 and 38. Are you freaking?
Who can
2
compete with
pound for
that?
pound guys?
Who can
Are you
compete with that?
freaking kidding me?
Right.
No.
Like, I know there's a lot of people that's like, don't bring out this talk that maybe his resume would be better than Floyd. And I don't even know how to compare those two because it's different.
It's so different.
It's so
but his
different.
question is if he's dominant.
If
against
he's
Canelo.
dominant,
because
I
that
will-
doesn't happen with top pound for pound guys.
I wrote a
you might have a win, but not totally dominant like he was with Spence.
In 2011, no one will remember it. Like the third boxing story I ever wrote for ESPN.com was, what if Roy walked away after the
Wait,
Ruiz
that was
win?
you?
That was me. Oh, of course. Oh, you're playing with me. He's playing
I
with
had to
me
get
right
him
now.
back. But listen, I always say that. I always say that.
And while I say,
we
like,
would be saying he's the greatest of all time.
It would be
like he's
it'd be
one
like,
of them.
It'd be like, I mean, name your favorite. You know, Henry Armstrong, him, and whoever. Like, it'd
I
be
know,
that.
I know.
But like, no one's going to do that at 34 with that kind of potential. But like, if he had done that, he would have had
know.
so much money in the bank, legacy-wise. Crawford is going to have a stupid amount where I refuse to put a ceiling on what you want to say about him afterwards. I refuse to. Like, seriously. Like, if you want to say he's on your Mount Rushmore, then have it.
I might
Have
call
it,
him the
man.
greatest of all time. I don't know, but listen, we're going to find out on Saturday night. Like,
will.
if he does reach that feat, man. Listen, we'll be back tomorrow live. Everybody on All the Smoke will be live tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. And guess what? This fight is free on Netflix,
Let's
man.
go.
See y'all tomorrow. Peace and love.